Welcome to Informed Entrepreneur Magazine. My name is Mike Baumstark. I'm a small business owner myself, and today I'm interviewing Paige Buscema, and she owns a company called Eyetopia, which is a very unique place, and so we're going to ask some questions of Paige, and hope you enjoy this. Welcome, Paige.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Now, first off, describe for me what is Eyetopia, because as I sit in this store, it's kind of fascinating. Now, I have to tell you that I typically am not drawn to stores like this, but for some reason, possibly because of all the glasses maybe, I actually can see myself shopping around in here. So what is Eyetopia, actually? Give us the picture.
Well, by trade, I'm a licensed optician,
Okay.
so it's an optical shop first and foremost, but you don't get that sense when you walk in the door. It's
No.
an eclectic place, and because I'm a woman, when I opened my business as an independent optician, and we can go into that a little bit more
Okay.
later, I really wanted it to be about all of the accessories, all of the ways that eyewear becomes a part of who you are and how you express yourself to others. And for women, that includes all the other accessories that go with us. So it's jewelry, handbags, sport and luxury sunglasses for men. We carry men's wallets, all kinds of fun stuff. So it's an eclectic, fun place, and it became born that way out of part necessity and part, obviously, interest and passion.
Now, what's the necessity part?
Necessity comes from the fact that the way we have the optical world set up in the United States now, the way it's come to be, is we have 3 O's. We have the ophthalmologist, which is your medical doctor.
Okay.
We have the optometrist, which is your family eye care practitioner.
Okay.
And we have the optician, which is what I am, which is a state licensed professional designed to fill your prescription, understand materials, provide you with the correct correction.
I actually didn't
just
know
like
those
the
distinctions.
pharmacist
Makes sense.
To your doctor.
I see.
So
Okay.
we function very much that way, and because independent opticians really don't exist in large quantities outside of an optometric practice
Yes.
or an ophthalmologist office, it was unusual for us to launch ourselves as independent of that system.
Yes.
The reason I chose that is because I felt that it was important to separate prescriber and provider. And the reason for that is I feel too often we end up having these degrees of cloudiness in our process. And it creates a barrier between the two worlds that allows for less conflict of interest.
Okay.
When prescribing a prescription and then also filling it, we have pharmacists that fill those medical prescriptions for us, so
Yes.
the doctors aren't involved in that process directly.
Yes.
And same thing in the optical world. We become the filling of the prescription and the material provider, so it helps.
This must be a unique concept. I mean, I've never heard of what you're doing before, but I find it fascinating, and actually a niche that I'm surprised nobody has thought of before. Do you know of anybody else doing this anywhere?
In the area, there's probably not any kind of independent optician practice doing this.
I mean, with this sort of thing.
This type of thing, no. Across the nation, there are a lot of creative optical people out there that are doing some really creative, innovative things. In most cases, they do incorporate the doctor and the optician under one roof,
Yes.
just for the sensibility of that. They
Yes.
want to make it as convenient as possible for the public. But for me, when I launched my business, I wanted it to be about what optical can be and what optical should be.
Awesome.
And so it's a little bit eclectic and a little bit of me and a little bit of what it needs to be.
It's a super concept. So I think it's really a very interesting concept. So a client customer would come in, let's say a lady or somebody unusual like me who likes to shop for strange things. For a guy, it'd be strange. A lady comes in, let's say, and she's shopping, and she comes here for glasses, or maybe she comes here for other things and says, wow, I'd like to have some glasses. Is that a typical scenario?
It happens both ways for us. And I will correct you in that we serve a lot of male clients.
Oh, good. Okay.
And a lot of really professional male clients who are interested in their image. They want to make sure that their eyeglasses are,
I knew somebody was helping some of these
connected
people
and-
pick their glasses up, because I've seen some really very appropriate, almost designed glasses for certain people.
Right.
So can I just
You may.
do this example? So we were earlier looking at glasses, and these particular glasses, which I'm not sure the camera will pick them up well, but I'm really enjoying these glasses, and I'm going to have her set these aside on layaway for me before I go today.
Well, the cool thing about that frame is it's buffalo horn. It's all buffalo horn. And
You mean
so
literally
it
buffalo
is
horn?
literally buffalo horn. It's natural. Its coloration
No
is
kidding.
unique, so it's a one-of-a-kind piece. Each piece would be uniquely colored. And it is all harvested farm-raised, so it is environmentally sensible.
I did not know that. That's pretty cool.
And it's a very cool material to work with, but it's not a material every optical business knows how to handle. And it is a little bit unique to us.
Fantastic. Okay, well, I will not take these with me as I leave, but
Okay.
I do like them. Okay, so where did you come from originally?
Well, I was an Army brat growing up.
Okay.
But we landed in Northern Virginia, so I grew up in Fairfax County. I went to Robinson High School,
Okay.
did George Mason University.
All right.
I put myself through college as an apprentice optician, and
Excellent.
I really thought I wanted to teach. My whole life I thought I wanted to teach, and then I realized, I'm not loving the public school system, but I love being an optician. I love working with people. I love that field, and so I went to trade school, and I finished my national certification, and I finished my state license, and I worked for multi-doctor practice. I've done just about all of optical that you could do. I've worked in what I call the fast food optical business, and I've worked in a very thoughtful, multi-doctor practice.
So fast food optical business, that's where I normally get my
Sure.
glasses, so I know what you're
Sure.
saying. Now, it seems to me this would be fun. I mean, it seems like
It is
fun
It should be
to,
fun.
I mean, somebody like me comes in and says that they love these things, and then you can give me a scarf and a hat or something to go with it, I suppose. Men don't typically accessorize after the glasses, I assume.
No, it's typically glasses, sport and luxury sunglasses for men,
Okay.
with servicemen who do all kinds of hobby sports.
But
and
are hats
professional
coming back?
sports. Hats may come back, yeah. You can do what you like.
I have a couple hats that I cannot get myself to wear in public, but anyway, my son, my 18-year-old son's much more expressive. He does wear hats in public. In fact, my son, Jonathan, will see very unusual glasses and sometimes take the lenses out and just wear the frames with nothing in there because he's making a fashion statement, which is pretty interesting. Okay, so what made you do the crazy thing of saying, I'm going to start business myself? What drove you to do that? Because that takes a little bit
Sure.
of insanity, we know.
Sure. I worked for years for a multi-doctor practice,
Okay.
and it was a good practice. It was a well-developed practice, and I was one of 2 professional opticians that worked there. And we really ran the optical from the ground up. We went to the shows. We were professional frame buyers. We were engaging as buyers in the fashion industry. And understanding when you go to these trade shows and you see eyewear from all over the world and you start to really understand what eyewear can and should be for people. It's such a first impression that we give people. And so, like you came in today, you're wearing your glasses.
Yeah.
It's part of your presentation to me,
Yes.
how you view yourself.
Is it okay?
You did well. I complimented you right away. But so I wanted to really, what happens in an optometric practice or an ophthalmologist's office is that they are focused on what they should be focused on, and that is medical. Doing your exams, having the equipment there, and being really educated about their role. But they're not always educated. Their dispensaries and their optical tends to be second to them. And because they're not able to invest those dollars in a really thoughtful inventory, because it is very expensive to do it, you get what is considered the homogeneous look. Right?
Absolutely.
Everybody starts to look the same. Every dispensary looks the same.
Well, I was struck, when I came in here, I have never seen a more interesting display of frames anywhere.
Thank you.
I've even done online things before, and this is just a really cool place to look for lenses. I mean, I'm sorely tempted. But anyway, go ahead. So you're heading toward business.
Well, the nice thing is when you have a passion for something, and clearly mine is eyewear, and you see what eyewear can be, and you see it being underutilized and undersold.
Yes.
I really wanted to go and do something that was expressive of that, and so my entrepreneurial spirit was born of that need.
Okay.
And I really also, there's a second piece of optical, and that is the lens component, filling your prescription.
Yes.
And there's a lot of inexpensive mass-produced product out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not processed well. It's not harvested well. It's not even ground properly a lot of times. And so what we're doing in optical in this world is walking around compromised without understanding we're dealing with compromise. And what I wanted to do is go to the top 3 manufacturers in the world and look at their products and really evaluate how we can do the best lens material coupled with some of the best frame product in the world. And because there's optical on every street corner USA, I had to be thoughtful about what is the role we're going to fill in there. And so it's a very specific role, and it's about quality vision and quality frame product. You know, again, going back to eyewear being an expression of who you are to the world.
Eyetopia, a very excellent title for the business. It's really, the more I see about it, it intrigued me right away. Eyetopia, what does that mean? And so I got a glimpse of, okay, there must be glasses involved, but it must be very interesting. And sure enough, that's what I've experienced being here. Give us a cup, and by the way, you don't wear glasses?
I do wear glasses. I wear my glasses for far away. So here in the shop or in the office, people very seldom see me in my glasses.
Do you have like 22 pair of glasses?
I have a gazillion pair of glasses, so I'm not ashamed to say it. I just, I think I went on a binge this year and bought myself 6 pair.
But you didn't buy these yet, so that's
no, I don't.
That's
I don't
good.
have those.
That's okay. All right, so give me a couple of points about the difficulty of getting your business going. And you've been in business how many years, by the way?
This is my 11th year in business.
Okay, and so a couple of difficulties you've experienced.
Many of the difficulties that I have faced in business have been surrounding not knowing all of the hats I should wear as a business person. And what that means is that you can have an idea and you can have a passion for what you want to do, and you could have enough funding to open a storefront or do a business, especially retail, but you don't always know how you're supposed to engage your local government. How are you supposed to get your ordinances and all of that, and how do you engage to make sure that you're following all the rules for your industry if you're going into a restaurant or if you're going into, as an optician, I need to know what are all the licenses I have to carry professionally. Those are things that are not necessarily
there's
intuitive
no manual for that.
Right. There's no place, no one single source.
I've actually found even people that get franchises do not have, here's how you do everything. They're still going through this discovery, which I found kind of surprising, to tell you the truth.
Right. It is curious, and one of the things, I was recently appointed to the Economic Development Commission for the town of Leesburg, and one of the things we're trying to look at is how do we engage business more effectively? How do we give businesses at that level, at the government level, the tools that they need to interface fluidly with the government, and so that their process is streamlined, to reduce barriers to entry, in other words.
Right.
And it's something I don't think, unless you've ever done business, you really think about.
Yeah. Being a business owner on that would be very helpful. Now, give us just a couple of things you think you've been successful at. Victories.
I'm creative to a fault, and I always joke about the fact that I think in curlicues. I don't always do things by the manual or in straight lines. And so part of, I think, what works for my business is I'm fully engaged with the people that come here. And the people who work with me are professionals, and they're fully engaged. And I think building that corporate culture, whether you're a 3-person business or a multi-million-dollar industry, is critical.
Very, very critical. As we discussed before we started the interview, you have to have a little bit of love for people, or really business is not going to work for you. And sounds like you're having a good time here. In closing, and we'll have credits at the end for people to get a hold of you and how they can franchise Eyetopia in their area.
I have other ideas. Eyetopia may not be franchised.
Okay, but just speak to the business audience, and what is your tip for business people that want to be in business or already in business? What's your biggest hint you would give about success?
Business is hard. You have to go into business with your eyes wide open, and you have to understand that it takes a degree of dedication and awareness and presence that's demanding. And if you're not willing to do that, then sometimes the passion and the idea is only going to carry you so far. Adrenaline won't carry you the whole distance.
Yeah, it's much like a marriage. Getting a business is kind of like you get married to something that, boy, you better be ready to go through the highs and the lows. And that's very good advice. Paige, I really enjoyed interviewing
It's
today.
been my pleasure.
I wish you the best.
Thank you very
and
much.
I'm sure I'll be shopping here a little more often after today.
Very
and be
good.
very tempted about the buffalo horn glasses.
Okay, you'll be an Eyetopian yet.
Thank you for joining us today on Informed Entrepreneur. You'll see the information about Paige's very interesting business. I recommend if you're anywhere near, stop by and visit Eyetopia. Thank you.
Thank you.